right, hello everyone. Welcome to our student board updates. We're from the student board of directors, so thank you for choosing to spend your morning with us. As a reminder, this is a 25-minute workshop, and then there's two other workshops in this room after this. There's also a workshop in the commons, and then one over there downstairs as well. So yes, awesome. Just do that. All right, so my name is Amanda. This is my 6th year in FIRST. I did FLL for 3 years, and then this will be my third FRC season. I'm, of course, on the Student Board of Directors. I am the Education Committee Chair, so that means I oversee the Education Committee, help run meetings, manage projects, stuff like that. I'm from Team 930, the Mukwonago Bears, so thank you all for coming to our kickoff. And then if you have any questions about this workshop or anything in general, my email is just amanda@firstinspireswisconsin.org.
Oh, how does this work? Okay. Oh, wrong slide. That's still okay. Hi, my name is Itzel. This is my 6th year at FIRST. I did 2 years of FLL, and this will be my 4th year in FRC. Of course, I'm on the student board of directors, and I'm in the growth sustainability committee. So essentially, what we do is that we help focus on just spreading the word of FIRST and having like more teams, especially in the north side of Wisconsin, because we know that there's not a lot of teams up there. And I'm on team 6643 Walnuts and Bolts based on Racine, Wisconsin. And if you have any questions or would like to chat, my email is right there.
Hopefully we get a new mic in a second. But alrighty, our agenda. So what are we going to be talking about today? First of all, if you don't know what the student board is, we're going to be covering that. Maybe you just came for funsies. So we'll talk about what the student board actually is, why we're a thing. Then we'll talk about our like student board structure, what's actually like our like goals, like who is on the student board, all of our committees, and then we'll get into all of our projects. So these names will become familiar to you later, but our production hub, our advocacy day, our YouTube and social media, our mind maps, and then our STEM event presentations. We'll go over all of those, what they're looking like right now, our progress that we've made this year. And then we'll just end with our student board sign-up information. So if you're interested in being a part of the student board next year, we'll talk about how you would do that. And then we'll just end with any questions that you guys may have. Yeah.
So the student board is actually a new program that they started. I believe this is the 2nd year now that it is going on. But essentially what it is a program that consists of just like a selective amount of students across the entire Wisconsin state. And these students work directly with not student board, with board of director members. And they just work on just like completing long-term missions, objectives, and just goals of First Wisconsin programs, right? So the student board consists of exactly 18 members with representing across 17 teams in both FRC and FTC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's 10 teams in FTC and 9 teams in FRC. So with both the collaborations of both teams, they are able to give a student voice on just different like FIRST problems, right? Just like resources, funding, how to make experiences in FIRST and like kickoffs and competitions, how to make that better to make sure that every student is able to have the same opportunities and is able to have the fun experience, gain skills as all students should, right? So essentially our goals is just like spreading the word and making sure that people, the communities that don't know about FIRST, because when they see us as like robotics. And when they see robotics, all they see is robots. But as you guys all know, robotics isn't just robots, and there's so many other things that come with it and so many other benefits. So that is what we want to spread across, is what we want people to know. And also just like to improve experiences to make sure that everyone is to make sure that everyone is able to have like the resources necessary, able to have the communication, the networking to make sure that we are all successful in the future beyond robotics.
Alrighty, so our student board structure, these are all of our like leadership positions on the board. So starting at the top, we have our presidents. So we have two presidents, they're co-presidents. One is the co-president of FTC, and then one is the co-president of FRC. So their names are Sid and Noah, if you're familiar with those. Under them, we have our director of project management and our director of social media and marketing. So for social media, if you see any of our First Wisconsin, what's the word? Posts on Instagram. Yeah, blog posts. Those are all written by our director of social media and marketing. And then our director of project management works with all of the committees and just running projects and overseeing everything to make sure everything's on time and running smoothly and stuff. Under them is all of our committee chairs. So our four committees: advocacy, growth and sustainability, education, and DE&I. We have all of those, and then all of our committee members under them. So all of us have monthly meetings. So we have monthly committee meetings, monthly leadership meetings, and then all team meetings. So we have about 3 meetings per month, depending on if you're on the leadership team or not. But yeah, this is kind of our flow chart of all of our structure. So diving into what our committees actually are, we have four. Our first committee is our advocacy committee. So this committee basically works most of the year in planning our annual advocacy day in the Capitol. I think Fair Demers has gone before to advocacy day. I don't. I think Walden went as well. So you guys are familiar with this is, but the student board works and they actually plan that event. So if you're interested in trying to see what that is and helping plan it next year, I would definitely recommend trying to join the student board. Then we have our education committee. So we plan education materials, workshops like this one, just to educate teams and mentors in Wisconsin. And then our main project is the production hub, which we'll get into here in a second. We have our growth and sustainability committee, which just helps increase the number of first teams in Wisconsin. Their main project is the My Maps initiative. And then we have DE&I, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This just helps increase DEI awareness in the state of Wisconsin. And overall, it does a lot of like DE&I work. We're trying to do YouTube videos, DE&I training, stuff like that. Boom. So our first project that we'll get into, this is an education committee project. This is the production hub. So if you're not familiar with what the production hub is, it's basically just a network of FRC and FTC teams that can ask for and fabricate parts for each other. So the reason why we started this initiative is because parts and resources is a huge barrier, especially to newer teams. They struggle a lot with like fabricating parts. They don't have CNCs, they don't have lathes, they don't have like the bandwidth to be making these complicated parts that we need for a robotic season. So this is a way for those teams to ask for help for some older veteran teams or teams that just have more resources, and they're able to help fabricate those parts. There's an exchange of money or parts between the two teams. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, if your teams have CNCs or need parts, there's a link up here to join the production hub. It's also on the First Wisconsin website. And if you have any questions or comments about it, you can email Matthew at firstinspires.wisconsin.org. He's the one that kind of runs the production hub. But yeah, it's a great program. It's a great way to kind of bridge that gap between the financial barrier, especially for a lot of newer teams. So.
I believe there are already like 7 teams who have signed up to be in the production hub and 12 sign up to have their areas open. So
Right. Yeah, and one of our eventually in the future, once we get more teams, we want to have like different levels of teams, like like gold, silver, bronze, to like help kind of rank teams. So if teams need these certain parts, they go to like these certain teams. So like it makes the transition a little bit easier. But yes, this is our production hub.
oh no, the thing came off the microphone. That's so sad. All right, so as I previously mentioned, one of the most important things about just like the student board directors is just spreading awareness, right? Making sure that other communities who don't know who we are know what we are, the benefits, the whole package when it comes. So another one of the projects or one of the initiatives that the student board would like to start is actually being panelists at STEM events, right? So that includes HOSA, DECA, Skills USA, all of those areas, and actually have like student board director members having like the subsection, the student ambassador program, or just like FRC teams actually show up at these events and talk to other people who do not know about robotics, like especially high school kids, and having that student to student interactions to try to get them to participate in robotics, right? To try to get them included, because that's how we increase our population in Wisconsin, and that's how we obviously increase the amount of teams that there are, right? So just if you guys know of like any events that are coming up, if you're in a club or if you have connections for people to actually get us to be panelists there, please definitely contact Brett. I'm pretty sure he's on the growth sustainability committee and he kind of like takes in charge a little bit of it. But if you would like to connect with us now, we can also connect with you after the presentation to get everything started there. So yes.
Alrighty, so this initiative, both of these teams are familiar with. You guys have already gone to this, but this is Advocacy Day. So, like I mentioned before, our advocacy committee is the one that kind of runs this, plans this, all year gets this ready. So, this year, first Advocacy Day is February 4th, 2025, at the Capitol. The sign up is currently up for this, so if your teams haven't signed up and they want to go, you should do that. If you're not familiar with what this is, it's essentially a day that a bunch of first teams can go to the Capitol to advocate with your representatives and your senators to just get more awareness for first. And our goal is to get more money for the DPI bill. So last year, the DPI bill, which is essentially a bill that gives money to first teams, was raised from $500,000 to $7,500, or that, yep, that number. And like the amount of money that each team specifically can get was raised from $5,000 to $6,000. But realistically, teams are really only getting like 4,000. Sometimes that's a little bit generous too. Teams aren't getting that full amount. So our goal this year is to raise it to $2.25 million. That would mean a lot more money goes to our first teams so they can be more successful in competitions and stuff like that. So if your team would like to go, it's really a simple day. You get training materials before, and then in the morning, you'll get trained in Advocacy Day and how to talk to these representatives. It's a really fun experience. It's good for your team to advocate yourselves and just be able to talk to your specific representatives. So please sign up. There's a link up here if you would like it, but also it's just on the First Wisconsin website. It's just labeled Advocacy Day. There's a in-person sign up. There's also a remote sign up this year. So if your team can't make it in person, they can do it remotely. But it's an awesome program, and we really want to have as many first teams as possible there this year. So yeah.
Is it $25 this year as well?
Yep, it's $25 per person as like at admission fee. It covers food and just us being there. So.
So speaking on communication, one of like the most important things is to make sure that teams are able to communicate within each other. I don't know if you guys know this, but on the first website there is like this map with all the teams in like the United States, I'm pretty sure, like internationally too, that shows like little different pinpoints of like each team and where they're located. The only con about that is that one, they don't update it, so a lot of the teams that end up getting disbanded or end up being discontinued are still on there even though they shouldn't be on there. And also, when you press the pinpoint, it only has a team name. It doesn't really have anything about them or like their contact or where they're from. So this is a new initiative. This is mainly in the growth sustainability committee that there is, and it is essentially just like the same thing, right? However, though, when you press on the little icon, can I move between different? All right. However, though, it will have like the list of teams for both FTC and FRC. And when you press on the team, so like let's do New Apple Core, it will have information such as like the school, like their email address, whether they're in their production hub, and what different machinery that they offer, as well as like their location, right? So it essentially kind of like reduces the steps and helps more accessibility. So instead of like, oh, like I don't know what teams there are in the area, oh, I'm just going to look on the website, look where they're located, right? This essentially just reduces the steps, and all you have to do is go on this website, pinpoint the team, and it just tells you all about them, right? So I believe this is not established yet. It is currently in the works, but it should be established within the next few months or so. But this is a great opportunity just for you to see what teams that there are in the area, as well as, yes, it helps us because it helps pinpoint what areas that we need to focus on, where we need to spread first in, but also for you guys so that you guys can see what teams are in area for collaboration, communication, where basically what friends that you have close by. Oh, oops. Sorry, guys.
It's also good if you ever need to like reach out to teams, like for like a scouting alliance or like to invite them to a kickoff. Then you can just find their email on that website, and it's so much easier than trying to go to their website and find or like go to like a past one. So much easier. So our last little project that we'll talk about here is just our YouTube and social media. So our YouTube and social media, like anything, probably with your team as well, it's the main form of communication between first teams in Wisconsin. So we're really trying to expand what we're doing, especially on our YouTube. So last year we had uploaded a few educational content workshops and like XRP and some workshops that were presented. But this year we're trying to really expand that, doing like an advocacy boot camp training, a DE&I boot camp training, and our two presidents also did this a similar presentation at WCTC this year. So putting that on our web or on our YouTube channel, putting this one eventually on the YouTube channel, and just having like a more better communication and posting more is what our goal is. So if you guys have anything that you want to see on our YouTube, please let us know. We really want to expand to like different types of workshops, so they're more remote. You don't have to come sit and listen to us talk. You can just watch a YouTube video. We also, of course, have our First Wisconsin website. You're probably pretty familiar with this. It's just www.firstandsfarswisconsin.org. This is where our blog posts are there, all of our resources. There's information about the student board, all of the events in Wisconsin. Literally, all of our information is on there. So if you're not familiar with that, you should look at it. There's also our calendar up there. So for all the events, like this is on there. All of our like FRC, FTC events are on the calendar. Really important so you know what's coming up if you want to volunteer places. And of course, our Instagram is just First Inspires Wisconsin, and our Facebook is just First Wisconsin. So yes, we want to expand this a lot this year. That's one of our goals.
Yeah, so if you guys just want to like continue on with our projects and see where like our status is, you can also follow the blog because a lot of our updates will typically be on there. I know that in these recent months, I don't think anything has been posted, but because it is a highly like busy season, but we should be posting now more frequently as the season is now getting started. So actually, speaking of which, if you guys were interested of any of the projects that you guys saw and would like to contribute and would like to participate and would like to do something like that, you can also sign up for the student board, right? As you know, we work together with board director members. We get basically hands-on learning meetings. We get more like a networking type service. And if you guys want to do that, if you guys want to be a part of something huge, we would suggest you to be on that. So the application is not currently on there. Typically, it is on there in April and May. There should be a blog post about it. I know Renee said that she was going to post something in February on the blog, so please stay up to date for that. And if not, that you can also visit the First Wisconsin Student Board Directors website. It will have information about just us. I'm pretty sure our pictures are on there as well, and also the application will be on there if you want to see that. If you guys have any questions or would like to know how the application process goes, you can also contact Renee. Her email is right there. Just like get a little hands-on, or if you'd like to ask us as well how the application process goes, we've gone through it. We've answered all the questions and have done the interview process as well. So this is geared a lot towards our junior and seniors. However, our freshmen and sophomore, we would suggest you to get lots of more experience before, because a lot of the questions that they ask on there will be, oh, have you contributed in first? What have you done? What are the different things that you've done to make first better? And so although we suggest you guys just to get a little bit more experience, a little bit more out there, so that when you guys reach your junior and senior year, you guys can apply and get that on your status, because it is a really cool program to be on there. We both definitely suggest it.
And the application process for that, it's a written application at first. So it's essentially like if you do First Impact, it's essentially like that. They give you, it's like 10 questions you have to answer in big paragraphs. And then you'll submit that application, and then you'll move on to the next round through interviews. And you'll find out if you make it after that. So really not a hard process, but you just have to apply. So yes. All right, that is all the content that we have for you guys. Do we have any questions about the student board? Maybe. That's okay too. So it's about 3 meetings per month, give or say. Especially in the build season, it gets a little bit relaxed. But if you're on a committee, well, you will be on the committee. You have one committee meeting a month, and if you're on the leadership team, you have one of those, and then a full team meeting. It's more like you have like one or two a month, depending on how busy people are. But it's really not that big of a time commitment. You work on the project on your own time. You'll get your own individual project to work on or help other people with their projects. So it's not too big of a time commitment, but it's just you have to have time available for like 1 hour meetings every couple weeks.
Yeah, and usually many of these meetings are online. So beginning of the actual like season of student board directors, they will be in person just so that everyone knows who they are and they can recognize each other's faces. But going on, your meetings will most likely be online all the time. So it is really easy to like go to the meetings and you don't have to worry about any transportation issues. So that's really nice as well.
Yeah, we had one in-person meeting at GE Healthcare in June, and then everything else is through Teams and through Slack. So yeah, awesome. Any other ones? If not, thank you guys for coming.